Hey guys, so for this video, I want to talk about some things you can do while you're bored in Fortnite. Now, I actually did not have this video planned, but as I'm sure most of you know, Epic just extended the current season an additional 2 weeks. This delay comes on top of an even bigger one from the original end of season date, which follows up the longest season we've had yet, Chapter 2 Season 1. What I'm trying to say by all of this is that Fortnite has been boring. There has not been too many content updates, all the challenges are the same, and we've been left without any tournaments for the time being. That's why today, I'll be giving you some ideas on ways you can pass the time while you're bored. Be aware though, these will not be tips to help you get stuff like the golden peely or any stupid crap like that. Everything I suggest will be a way for you to improve or prepare yourself for Chapter 2 Season 3 that I did not talk about in the other video I made on this topic. So with that being said, let's get right on into it. Starting off, the first thing you can do while you're bored in Fortnite is break some of your bad habits. I don't know about you guys, but this is something I used to struggle with a lot. I felt like no matter how hard I tried to stop making the same mistakes, I'd slowly default back into my old ways. What I didn't realize at the time was that this all came back to my mental. I kept making the same mistakes because I'd committed them down to my muscle memory and never had a chance to break them. I just kept following my instincts and what I was comfortable with. For example, one of my worst habits from last season was neglecting the grid system. I would constantly place walls and ramps in the wrong spots during box fights. The weirdest thing about it though was that I knew exactly why it was happening. It wasn't like I was clicks calling out random damage numbers in scrims for no reason.
I have 19, bro.
How much is that? Wait, headshot. Bah! I missed. I hit him 100.
Seriously though, I've taught you guys about the grid system numerous times, yet my crosshair always seemed to be in the wrong spot. So what I decided to do was take a 3-day break from the game to reset myself, and as soon as I came back, I hopped into creative to practice good crosshair placement. I started to bring my crosshair higher up to build walls, as well as look further down to make sure my ramps placed below me. In addition to that, I went into each and every game I played with the sole goal to not neglect the grid system. That meant actively thinking about where I was placing my builds during box fights and build battles. I'm not gonna lie, this definitely slowed me down at the start. I couldn't just go through the motions like I usually did, or else I'd slip back into my old habits. I had to go slow and change the way I played. Luckily, this did pay off. After a couple of days of playing this way, I quickly got back to my old speed and had much better crosshair placement without having to think about it. Thus, if it hasn't been made clear already, you want to start by identifying the bad habit you have, either by watching back your gameplay, getting someone else to, or asking your teammate what they think, then destroying the bad habit, either by practicing the crap out of the right technique and or taking a break, and finally going into real matches to actively incorporate it into your gameplay. The second thing you can do while you're bored is master double movement keybinds. Double movement binds are without a doubt one of the hottest topics in the community. Everyone saw Zayt using them in the FNCS Solo Invitational, and now every pro player and their mother has switched to them. Some people have even started to use macros, Zexro, but that's cheating and scummy. What double movement binds do is give you controller-like movement on keyboard and mouse. To set them up, go into your Fortnite settings, over to your keybinds, and bind a second key to your left and right movement options. My advice for choosing which keys to use is that you need them to be off of the respective finger you hit for A or D. Like in my case, I have my left double movement bind on C, which I hit with my thumb, and right double movement bind on my left alt, which I also hit with my thumb. As long as your left one is not on your ring finger and your right one is not on your index finger, then you're all good to go. Oh, and before I forget, once you have your double movement binds in place, just press W, A, and the left bind you set up to sprint while looking left, and press W, D, and the other movement bind you just set up to sprint while looking right. As to why they're worth learning, I think this clip from Clicks is all you need to see. This is an example of what you can do with double movement binds, and as Bizzle says, is how he never gets sniped anymore. Seems pretty busted, right? Well, that doesn't even include the additional FOV you get by being able to look to the side as you rotate, or the ultimate goal of having 360-degree movement while building. Way too many people overlook how strong that is for fights. A huge reason Energy Unknown was an amazing box fighter on controller was his ability to weave in and out of builds and edits with his elite movement. The problem, however, is that there's only a few pro players that have completely mastered double movement binds while building. I know Zayt and Liquid Stretch have, but not too many others have, even with months of practice. If you're wondering why, it's because not only do you have to get used to double movement binds in general, but you also have to be able to press them while simultaneously pressing pressing your building binds. Most people like me don't have keybinds that allow for that. I press my cone with my ring finger and my floor with my index. I can't even strafe right or left normally while taking out those build pieces. Someone like Envy Bucky though, who has all of his builds on his thumb and mouse, can hit both of his double movement keys while building since they're on his ring and index fingers. So I really don't say this a lot, but if you want to get ahead of the meta, start learning double movement binds ASAP. The third thing you can do while you're bored in Fortnite, which yes, I did save for this spot, is find a good trio. In case you guys did not know, Epic announced that Chapter 2 Season 3 will feature a solo FNCS with trio cash cups, while Chapter 2 Season 4 will feature a trio FNCS with solo cash cups. This means if you're looking to make some money not in solos, you should begin looking to form a god trio.
But Jarian, how can I do that when all my friends suck at the game or quit?
Don't you worry, little Timmy, because that's an issue a ton of people are dealing with. My recommendation would be to go to any Scrim Discord and tell people you're looking for a trio. Pretty much every major Discord server in Fortnite should have a looking for team channel to post in. You just have to actually go and do it. Some servers you could try out are the Open Scrim Discords if you're on NA East or NA West, Atlanta Scrims if you're on EU, and Console Wars if you're not on PC. I'll leave links down in the description for each of them. There should be one for each Fortnite region, and like I said before, each server will have different channels you can post in looking for teammates. Be aware though, there are a ton of little clowns in these discords. These are kids who will post insanely high requirements for their trios and ego you any chance they get. Just do your best to not get discouraged. You're most likely not going to find any top tier players looking to trio with you. That doesn't mean you can't find good teammates, it just means you have to be realistic. Additionally, if you're having a lot of trouble finding people to play with, use the upcoming solo FNCS to prove yourself. Chapter 2 Season 4 is going to be a full season away, and while I know you guys want to do well in the trio cash cups during Season 3, not a lot of people are going to give you a chance early on. That's why with solos, you can prove them wrong by placing highly alone. Last thing I want to mention regarding trios is that you don't always want to play with two other good solo players. Trios is very unique in that there are defined roles for what everyone should be doing throughout the match. You have the IGL or the in-game leader who makes the final decision on where to rotate and what to do. You have the fragger who is aggressive and always looking for picks, and you have the support player who is at the back of the tarp and helping everyone out. You do not, and I repeat, do not want two IGLs making different calls or two support players carrying bandage guns. Find players you have good chemistry with and who can play out their defined role to the best of their ability. The fourth thing you can do while you're bored in Fortnite is something I brought up in the last video I made like this that I'll call practicing the opposite input. Back about 4 months ago when the original things to do while bored video went up, NRG Epic Whale and NRG Unknown took my advice. Both of them started playing on keyboard and mouse and controller. Fast forward to today and the two of them have gone from hybrid players to full-time playing on each other's input. Unknown went from controller to keyboard and mouse, and Epic Whale went from keyboard and mouse to controller. Now, outside of spending money to buy extra peripherals, there are actually a ton of benefits to practicing the opposite input. One is that if a certain input becomes extremely strong like controller and linear aim assist is on PC, then you can switch over with ease. This is quite literally what Epic Whale did at the start of Chapter 2 Season 2. He saw how broken aim assist was on PC and wanted to take advantage of it. I'd say it worked out pretty well as he won the FNCS Duo Grand Finals as well as the solo and duo cash cup on controller. Next benefit of playing on the opposite input is it will help you learn to play against those specific players in game. For example, when you're up against a controller player, the last thing you want to do is aim battle them. You know from your experience while playing on controller that box fighting is much harder than on keyboard and mouse, so you should just sit in a box instead. Final benefit of practicing the opposite input is that it's honestly really fun. We're all at a point in our Fortnite careers where it seems like we know all the basics. We know how to edit fast, build optimally, and aim well. When you jump on the input you're not used to, however, all of that goes out the window. You're forced to start from the ground up and relearn everything you had mastered on the input you're comfortable with. So I get it may seem counterintuitive to not practice on your main input, but Clix does it with controller, Booga does it as well, even Lechy does it with keyboard and mouse. Fifth and final thing you can do while you're bored in Fortnite is watch all of my videos. Just kidding, but also not really kidding. One of the best ways to improve at Fortnite is to learn from others. That could be by watching your favorite pro players on Twitch or your favorite content creators on YouTube. I'm probably the the biggest tips and tricks YouTuber in terms of subscribers, but trust me when I say there's a ton of other helpful resources out there. Some of my personal favorites are Bala TW, who does full-length VOD reviews on pro players, Speedy Gonzalez, who does coaching as well as tips and tricks, Gearsy, who actually inspired me to make this video, Rich Homie Quinn, who's an educational pro player from NA West, as well as all of these awesome people on your screen that I don't have time to bring up. All of these creators are extremely unique in their own ways, and I just feel like they don't get enough credit. So if you're an It's Jarian simp and you're always waiting for my next upload, make sure to check out some of these channels in the meantime. Overall guys, that's everything you can do while you're bored in Fortnite. I apologize if you were expecting more things to do, but I did already make a video like this 4 months ago, and you should know I'm not one to repeat myself. So if you enjoyed this video or you learned something new, do be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and to turn on post notifications. Shout out to everyone using code Jarian. I'm still collecting ideas for a support a creator code goal. I saw some about me changing my binds, but I kinda want to do something a little crazier. Just leave me some crazy ideas down below. Otherwise, that's it from me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.